Okay, first question. When do the rules, the racing rules, go into effect?
1 minute.
1 minute before the start sign. The start gun goes off. That is correct. We're going to talk about leeward boats. We're going to talk about getting to the start line. We're going to talk about barging. So here is 30 seconds before the start. This is our start line, right? We know it's a start line because the line, the imaginary line, is on the course side. The course side. If it were, if the imaginary line, so the already finishing, we're looking down the buoys, our round buoys like this would be where the imaginary line is on the finish line. But we are talking about start lines. So here we are 30 seconds before. These guys are kind of sitting here. They got their sails flapping, really not making any headway. And the clock's ticking, and it's now 20 seconds before the start. And they're still kind of parked here. And there's some more boats that are further down the line, but they're really not affecting these guys. What do you guys think is going on right here between white and red?
Red's trying to sneak in.
Red
is barging.
He's barging, and he can do that if white decides he's going to go down and allow red room, or they're early and they're reaching down the line. Red's okay. But white's no dummy. White's no dummy. He's saying, I got this guy by the short hairs. Now, we talk about a 4 boat length circle around all our marks. And indeed, there is a 4 boat length circle around the start mark, but there's an exception to the normal rule about leeward boat that says that a leeward boat at the start is not obligated to provide room for red to pass on the leeward side of that start mark. So if white presses the issue, that is, he just keeps a little bit of movement and going on, and now we're 10 seconds from the start, and red is like this. Is there room for red to go in there?
No.
What's gonna happen?
People yell,
If you're red and you're like this, and maybe you're not really thinking about it too much, what's going to happen?
hit the marker.
Red's going to either hit
Red's
the mark
going
or
to
go
hit
in
white, or red's going to hit the mark.
Yeah.
Now, I said this was a situation at 10 seconds before. Now, if the wind's a little light today, it would take a little bit more, but how long, we're talking ODOMs now, how long does it take for an ODOM when red realizes, and again, the reason we talk about rules is we want to know the rules so we can think ahead of time so we don't get ourselves into trouble. How long would it take red to harden it up, get some momentum, tack over, and come around and be back here? What do you think?
3 or 5 seconds, 3 seconds.
Now, a lot more than
10.
that. At least 10. But I don't think quite
Today might take a bit longer, but on a windy day, 10.
Lighter wind.
Light
Lighter
air
wind.
would be
So
on a
red,
windy day, 10.
if you're red and you realize, you know what, white is just sticking it to me, and he's not going to give me an inch. Red should realize that 10, 15 seconds before the bell's going to go off and say, I got to get out of here. Now, red has 2 options, by the way. One of them, of course, is harden up, get some speed, roll around and tack. And maybe then at the start, it looks like this, which actually is not too bad. Red could tack off and head off toward the shore, and he can tack back. And you know what? That's not bad. It's a heck of a lot better than hitting the mark and having to reround it. Excuse me, he does not have to reround it, but he does, because he went on the correct side, but he does have to do a 360. He does have to do a turn because he hit the mark, or he's got to do a 360 because he fouled white. The other thing that red can do is because we don't use X flag or the 1 minute rule. Is
Until
just,
today.
Until today. Okay, well, there we go. It's just harden up. Remember, we got 10 seconds. All I got to do is get down here, and I've got to get myself all the way on the leeward side of the line
Dip start.
and do a dip start. That's not a bad option either. Certainly better than having to do a turn in bad air behind everybody else.
5 minutes. You may beg for another minute, I guess. You have to talk.
Well, actually, I get 10, but I wanted to be able to wrap it up. Okay, so do we understand about barging? Do we understand about, we have options. We just have to realize that we're in a bad position and not just sit there in that bad position, but do something about it. Get your boat moving, tack, get behind, head up, do a dip start. Those are both good options. All right, questions?
Unrelated, kind of. At the finish line, the 4 boat length you have right away does pertain. As far as
It does. It
getting
does.
room.
At the 4 boat length circle, you take a snapshot of any boats of the first boat that enters that 4 boat length circle. So let's set up what